The Lord be with you. I'm Deacon Keith Fournier, and our first reading is taken from the letter to the Hebrews. This makes Jesus the mediator of a new covenant, so that, now that a death has occurred to redeem the sins committed under an earlier covenant, those who have been called to an eternal inheritance may receive the promise. It is not as though Christ had entered a man-made sanctuary, which was merely a model of the real one. He entered heaven itself, so that he now appears in the presence of God on our behalf. And he does not have to offer himself again and again, as the high priest goes into the sanctuary year after year with the blood that is not his own. Or else he would have had to suffer over and over again since the world began. As it is, he has made his appearance once and for all at the end of the last age to do away with sin by sacrificing himself. Since human beings die only once, after which comes judgment, so Christ too, having offered himself only once to bear the sin of many, will manifest himself a second time, sin being no more, to those who are waiting for him, to bring them salvation. And our response is taken from Psalm 98. Sing a new song to Yahweh, for he has performed wonders. His saving power is in his right hand and his holy arm. Yahweh has made known his saving power, revealed his saving justice for the nations to see, mindful of his faithful love and his constancy to the house of Israel. The whole wide world has seen the saving power of our God. Acclaim Yahweh, all the earth. Burst into shouts of joy. Play to Yahweh on the harp, to the sound of instruments, to the sound of trumpet and horn. Acclaim the presence of the King. And a reading from the Holy Gospel, according to St. Mark. The scribes who had come down from Jerusalem were saying, Beelzebul is in him, and it is through the prince of devils that he drives devils out. So he called them to him and spoke to them in parables. How can Satan drive out Satan? If a kingdom is divided against itself, that kingdom cannot last. And if a household is divided against itself, that household can never last. Now, if Satan has rebelled against himself and is divided, he cannot last either. It is the end of him. But no one can make his way into a strong man's house and plunder his property unless he has first tied up the strong man. Only then can he plunder his house. In truth, I tell you, all human sins will be forgiven, and all the blasphemies ever uttered. But anyone who blasphemes against the Holy Spirit will never be forgiven, but is guilty of an eternal sin. This was because they were saying, there is an unclean spirit in him. The Gospel of the Lord.